Else nobody's gonna feel it. Love it. Listen, it's 50 degrees in February. For about a week in NYC is very scary. But I gotta press on. Cruising down the FDR to get my mess on. I've been a stressed one, but who ain't? The news ain't good, feel like it's doomsday. Is it too late? Sometimes I wonder what the moon say. While he looks upon me, knowing as I gaze upon him. The truth is, I feel like everybody's made up of sin. Difference is, the good people know to keep it within. Okay, so when I let a little leak out, trying not to freak out, I don't give a fuck what anybody try and speak out, cause I never bow down. I just keep 10 toes to the ground.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another week of Crosstown Conflict, a little impromptu midweek episode. Your hosts here, Justin Macias, Jared Farrer, coming to you through Zoom. Not really Zoom, but we couldn't get together this week, so we figured we'd just do something together. Jared, how are you doing, man?
Good. We're coming to you virtually because when we started this podcast, I was so used to being a bum, but as time goes on, while you're being a bum, your friends decide to get married, have bachelor parties. So I've had something to do every weekend, and I just couldn't muster up the energy to put together a show for you guys.
Yeah, honestly, it seems like every weekend you have like another wedding you're going to.
Yeah, it's wild. I'm going to Miami next weekend, so we'll probably have to do another Wednesday next week.
Oh my gosh.
But
hey, you know what? We're getting it done. We're out here, and what's getting done is wins. Wins for both of our teams.
Big W's.
Big W's.
Oh, well, I don't know. The Twins still could come back. We're recording this live during the 7th inning of the New York Yankees game. They're winning 8-2 at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And the New York Mets just came off of beating the shit out of the Orioles after the Orioles beat the shit out of them last night.
Oh yeah. You know, hey, I'll take Orioles losses. They help us, so
yeah.
As long as we don't end up in last place, I'm fine.
Yeah, you want to keep yourself at that solidified 4th place spot. You guys got a nice little cushion.
Hey, we're 3 right now.
3? Okay.
We're 3,
okay.
You know. Toronto's lost, they're losing right now, so let's all pray.
That's the one scary thing about the division. Like you're in tied in between 3rd and 4th place, and all 4 of those teams are over 500, and it's a really scary thing. I'm really scared because the Atlanta Braves, as of today, right now, they have a 500 record in 2nd place. So they're on the rise.
Yeah. They did. You know, they're doing things. That pitching staff, you hope they could hold it up. But, your pitching staff has really came to life. Outside of Peterson, Lucchesi has kind of been turning it around. Taijuan Walker's been
phenomenal.
Better than advertised. He was supposed to be your 4 or 5 guy, and he's almost been your 2.
He'll probably be the 2 by then. I like Stroman a little bit. I hated him when we first started it. I liked him. I hate him. I like him. But Taijuan Walker is my number 2 right now.
Oh, yeah. I did hear some bad news today about Carrasco. He got a little setback today. Yeah. That's gonna be a killer down the road, especially with Syndergaard also getting kind of pushed back too.
Syndergaard is not due back until August now.
Yeah. And then you look at Severino, who had almost the same timeline. He's on his way back. He's making rehab starts. He had 2 2/3 inning the other day. He was looking good, almost touching 100. So it's what I love to see it, and I'm here for a Sevy revenge tour.
Yeah, I got a little trade pointer that I got for later in the episode, but staying on pitchers, we had a big controversy this past couple of weeks, and it came to a boiling point maybe Monday.
Yeah.
So you want to touch up on that?
Yeah, so in case nobody follows baseball, you don't really know what's going on. Pitchers have been kind of using some foreign substances to get a better grip on the ball. This has honestly been going on since the dawn of baseball.
Yes.
Back to guys like Gaylord Perry using the spitball. Guys have always doctored a baseball. Guys have always used pine tar. There's combinations of rosin and sunscreen, just ways to get grips on the ball. And some of the ways they've tried to mask using it is by saying that it gives them a better grip to try to throw a ball. So that way you're not hitting a guy with 98 in his ribs. You have a little bit more control. But now with spin rates being, analyzed and put out there for the public to see, you start seeing, hey, these guys have a spin rate that's jumping at a historic rates. And it's like, what are they using? And it's coming out now that they're using this product called Spider Tech. It is pretty much, this product is used to hold up concrete cinder blocks.
Yeah, it's what the world's strongest men use in their competitions to lift 75-pound cinder block balls.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason this is coming to light now, even though it's been like kind of one of the unwritten rules that your team's going to do it, we're going to do it, no one's going to bat an eye, it's because the absolute dominant of pitching this year. We're at an all-time low for batting averages across the entire MLB, and pitchers are just looking fantastic. Guys who were scrubs a couple years ago are looking like dominant pitchers. And what is it, June 9th today, there is already 6 no-hitters when the all-time record for one in a season is 7.
Yeah.
So MLB, they know what they want. They want hits, they want bats, they want fun. And that can't happen with people dominating pitching.
Yeah. And honestly, Gerrit, I'm going to take that as a jumping point off here and say that this is honestly this is an MLB creative problem.
Yes.
And it's MLB created because originally they had back in, I'd say 2017, 2018, they had the juice balls. And that's when you were seeing offense go off at an alarming rate. You were seeing home run records get set at crazy paces with Judge, the rookie home run record, Alonso breaking his record the year after. And then all across MLB, they were breaking season home run records. And I think that's where kind of this all took a turn, where you start seeing these pitchers being like, hey, we have to compete too. So let's try to,
even the playing field.
Yeah, let's these balls are a little bit juiced. Let's try to make them harder to hit, because if you can't hit it that hard, they're not going to go that far. But now you're seeing, because MLB deadened the ball this year, and they've openly explained it, I think you're starting to see that balance kind of overweight to the pitcher side now.
Yeah. When they were trying to get their edge with the juice baseballs, it was working. Guys were pitching well. Not everyone was using it. And it kind of evened out the juice baseball. And now that there's a dead ball and this spider tack and all these different sticky substances, it's overpowering now because they get that much more of an edge.
And it's not even spider tack. It all starts with Trevor Bauer. And it's almost became like a science experiment to these guys, where it's like, what concoction can I make that will give me the most grip and the most stick to this ball? And I think it really did become apparent in 2020 when you had no fans in the stands and guys are throwing baseballs and you could literally hear it off their fingers like it's Velcro.
Yeah. You hear that coming off their hands.
Yeah. And it's crazy because MLB never decided what was a foreign substance or not, because a lot of pitchers say that one of the best substances to use to get that stick is sunscreen and rosin. Yes. Those are 2 formulas that you could use on a mound because, one, you have rosin that you provided them, and then 2, am I not going to use sunscreen to protect my body from the UV rays?
Yeah. It just so happens to work so perfectly.
Like it's so perfect, but then you have guys that take it to the next level.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we are at now.
Yeah. But one thing, my stance, I think Trevor Bauer is an all-time scumbag. And right now this year, he's kind of got the swag of the 2017 Astros, staring into the camera, doing a little dance, knowing you're dominating with that little extra help.
Yeah.
But also, back in 2017, he was one of the guys who brought it up that pitchers were using this.
Yeah.
And MLB did nothing about it. So he doubled down on MLB doing nothing about it. He's putting together Elmer's glue with Coca-Cola and rosin, trying anything that'll work. Oh. And he's benefited the most from it.
But you know what? As much as I came down hard on Bauer, I'm kind of turning the page on him. Because he did say, hey, you got pitchers that are using this. And then he saw pretty much Cole go out there with Houston using this substance, increasing his RPMs, and getting a big contract because of it. Yeah. So he said, hey, if you're not going to, you're not going to police it, you're not going to, lay down the law, I'll use it. I'll get my money. So it's almost, like Floyd Mayweather did, finessing all those people out of that cheap boxing match.
Yeah.
I'll do what I can to get my money. So that's why I'm kind of turning the page on Bauer, because he told MLB flat out, hey, he was the original Josh Donaldson that was trying to blow the whistle, and MLB had none of it.
Yeah, but And I just want to bring this back to one thing, back to like a Mets story.
Okay.
You know how I know this New York Mets is different? This New York Mets team is different?
How?
Because the old Mets would have signed Trevor Bauer, and this would have been a blow up in your face for the fucking Mets.
Yep.
And it would have been terrible. He would have been suspended. It would have been another bad signing by the New York Mets.
You know how crazy New York media would have been if you have Cole
Killing him.
and Bauer both in the New York media on other opposite ends? Jesus. That would have been bad.
And you know he would have shared that spider tack with DeGrom.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
The man would have a .3 ERA right now.
DeGrom would have been throwing 104 to those minor leaguers.
He's oh, Jesus. He's definitely using something because they all use something, but his spin rate hasn't exploded like some of the other guys in the league. His spin rate's exploded because his velocity has exploded.
Yeah, and I think it was a lot of his mechanics. You know, a lot of his mechanics kind of flowed. The only thing I did find fishy, why did all the players come to his defense like that? Like, I get you came to his defense, but why are you guys atting each other? Shouldn't you guys just naturally just be like, hey, yeah, this guy doesn't use it, or we're just one person? You didn't have to at everybody on the team.
Yeah, I heard a story that like they were on the team playing when it happened, when he got accused. They were all together.
I could see that. But at the same time, it's like, hey, can't you just add to the storyline? You don't have to, chime in now. Hey, you chime in now.
But here's another thing that we talked about, like off the podcast that we're talking about. The Mets seemed like a team while the Yankees seemed like a business. You know, you could see it when someone strikes out, they're getting pats on the butt. You're going to be all right. We fucked up. We'll get them back next time. When the Yankees do it, they're just going head down, sitting down. It's over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When the Yankees are winning, they're having fun like kids. When they're losing, it's not. The Mets, they seem like a tight-knit group this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you love to see.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's definitely resembling that this year, you know, like with you guys had that really great stretch so far. And I was looking over the past weekend and I was like, man, the Mets are having fun while we look like, you know, everybody just looks down. Everybody has their heads between their legs. Like, you know, it's just like everybody seems like we're not having fun.
That's different. You got anything else you want to add with the sticky situation going on in MLB?
Yeah. I think MLB should have came out way before the season started and said, hey, these are the foreign substances you can't use. Because now you got media people and players going against players, Donaldson calling out Cole, and it's like now I feel like everything Cole does is looked under a microscope.
Yes.
When it's like, why is he the one being called out for this when 85% of the league is doing this? Like 85, you see RPMs across the league down, and it's crazy. Like spin rate it's being used everywhere. I agree it has to be cracked down on because nobody likes watching strikeouts. Nobody likes watching pitching heavy games every single day. Yeah. People like offense. People like home runs. People like balls in play. You know, it's bad for baseball. It's bad for growing the sport. But I do think MLB dropped the ball on this, and I think they're starting this way too late.
Yeah, like they've been messing up since steroids. Like there's no reason steroids should have been in the federal courts.
Nope.
There's no reason people should still be punished for it while everyone was doing it. And they're probably going to mess this one up too. And whatever happens to any of these pitchers, it's still going to be a bigger punishment than the 2017 Nationals for cheating themselves to a World Series.
Exactly. And that's where this all stems from. I really feel like this all stems from the Astros just going too far with everything. You know, they did the trash banging. They probably did this. Where did Justin Verlander come from in that 2017 season? Because if you looked at him in 2016, he was dead in the water.
For a couple years.
Yeah. He was on the decline. He was on a tailspin. And all of a sudden goes 2017, and he's, the best pitcher in baseball?
Yeah, I think he won 6 straight for them down the stretch after the trade.
2 Cy Youngs?
Yeah.
And it just goes to show because this substance also could lead to injury. And where is he now?
It's hurt, but he's also old. He shouldn't have been pitching like that.
No,
and the same thing could go for Gerrit Cole. Gerrit Cole is definitely a good quality major league starting pitcher. But
Absolutely.
when he got to the Astros, something turned and he became absolutely dominant. But he proved tonight he could still do it. 6 innings, 2 home runs, and that's kind of who he's been even during his dominant stages.
Yeah, Cone mentioned it on the broadcast. I think it was some of the sticky stuff kind of helping him get to that elite level. But what also did help him change too was using that fastball a lot more up in the zone. Trusting that fastball instead of going with a sinker. And I think that kind of change helped him. But when you're using spider tech like that, it's not hurting.
No, because you could get that high fastball, but you think it's coming high, and it just drops on you. You have no clue what the guy's throwing, and you just look foolish. Absolutely. Like a batter.
I also did love Cole struck out Donaldson right on the curveball.
Yeah, right after calling him out for singled him out for cheating using the spider tack. Gerrit Cole looked terrible in that press conference.
Awful.
The team did absolutely nothing to prep him, and they knew the questions were coming. He probably thought he could handle it, or maybe thought the New York media wouldn't ask him. Stupid on his part, but he looked terrible.
PR person has to go.
Glad, but like the Yankees bats woke up tonight, and that was probably a huge boost of confidence knowing he could play with a little bit of a lead the entire night.
Honestly, if we didn't come alive against our personal punching bags in Minnesota,
you would have been upset.
I would have probably taken down all the Yankee stuff, called it a wrap for the year, and been like, "Yo, I'll see you next year on the pod."
Let's get ready for Cam Newton.
Yeah, right.
Yes, well, maybe, probably not, but maybe.
No, maybe.
All right, I'll start off, give a little Mets update for the last month. We haven't really done a podcast in June. Yeah. In the last 10 games, the Mets are 6-4, losing 1 to the Orioles, 2 to the Padres, and splitting with the Arizona Cardinals. But they're 500 for the month so far. And I want to go back to that Padres series. This is a fucking fantastic Padres team. And in those first 2, we split the series. We lost 2, 1-2 on the back of DeGrom and Stroman. But those first 2 games could have been won by the Mets. It wasn't. They didn't let them be Slam Diego. What did they lost 3-1 and 2-0, I believe. So they held a really good team at bay, and it's just really surprising that the Mets pitching is so strong. One of those games, what's the name? One of the replaced Mets had a Tatis home run robbed in the outfield, and it bounced out of his glove.
Oh yes,
yeah, that was right. Rough. But leading back to being something different about this team, I knew we were going to split the series. I don't want to say I knew, but I believed it could happen. After any other point in my life, we go down 0-2 in a 4-game series, I'm saying we're going to maybe win 1. We'll be lucky if we win 1.
Hopefully.
But right now, we're in first place still. We got a 3-game lead. We just beat the shit out of the Orioles. Got quality inning from 7 quality from Taijuan Walker. Familia came in, and we got Seth Lugo pitching in a 14-1 game just to get his arm coming back. And that man's going to be really key. Adding 1 more solid piece of this bullpen, we'll be all right.
No, definitely. How is your? I've kind of been keeping up with the starting pitching, but how has the bullpen been doing? Because I've always known that for you guys has always struggled. But through the stretch, it seems like you guys have been keeping the runs
consistent. Very, very, very consistent. Like there's rough games like last night. It seems like once a week where they're getting their asses kicked. But they always settle back down, and that's something that never happens. It's usually a chain reaction. We get our ass kicked. We get our ass kicked. We get our ass kicked. We lose 1-0 in a DeGrom start. We get our ass kicked. Yeah. But this team has been bouncing back every single day. They're outside of the Padres, and we got swept early in the year. We haven't really been losing back-to-back a lot, and that's huge.
Yeah, no, it's big. Especially, with a good bullpen, you're always going to have those few games where, they're just not on. You can't expect your bullpen to always be on, but more just be consistent. So if you guys are riding that out, it should be a steady June for you guys.
I'm asking for 500 in the month of June.
In the month of June, if you guys go 500, that's,
we're going to be a problem.
Kind of hope for.
We're going to absolutely be a problem. All right. Now that you're feeling a little better, you're on your way to win 2 against the Twins. Give us a little update on June so far for the Yankees.
this June started off great. You win 2 against. I think they won 2 against Tampa, but it just hasn't been going good. Honestly, guys just aren't hitting. Our offense just looks abysmal. It's really sad to watch this offense day in and day out. Ground into double plays, get guys on. Hear your manager say you're a good team because you ground into those double plays. It hasn't been everything you wanted, and it's been everything you don't want to watch. It's not getting the key hits. You get 2 guys on, and then you get a rally killer strikeout. It's starting pitching maybe not giving you exactly what you want, but they're keeping us in the game, and I really can't fault the starting pitching. We had a rough stretch. Cole got lit up. Herman got lit up a little bit. But outside of that, our starters have been going great. Even yesterday, that win against Minnesota, even though we scored the 8 runs, it didn't look good. I think the 4 runs we got were pass balls. I think this team is literally relying on pass balls and errors to score runs. And when you're doing that as a ball club, you're not going to win games. And I said at one point this team will be lucky to win 80 games this year. And yes, today was a great sign. Miguel Andujar is actually reverting back to that 2018 Andujar that he was. And it's really good to see. And I really hope he can stay in the lineup. He's been a decent left fielder. I really like him out there. It's, if a ball's hit out there, you're not like, I really, really hope he catches this, because more likely he is.
Yeah. He's a pro. It's like having Dom Smith out there. Like, if something happens, it's because he's not an outfielder. He's not a fielder, but he's going to get the job done for the most part. Do you feel better having his bat in the lineup over Clint Frazier today, June 9th?
Easily. I mean, he's hit 4 home runs in the past week. I would say 5 days. So he's feeling good. I mean, and also when you have Clint Frazier hitting 180, it's not cutting it. We should have traded him probably 2 years ago when his bat was hot.
Mm-hmm.
You look back on that. Why did could we have not traded Clint Frazier for Wandy Peralta? Why did we have to give up Mike Tauchman?
Oh, Tauchman's looking good with the Giants too.
Oh, don't remind me, man. It breaks my heart every day. When John Hookah came into my room and said Mike Tauchman hit a walk-off grand slam while I'm watching Clint Frazier strike out again, I was like, it wasn't a walk-off, but a grand slam still is like, come on.
I think it was a bases clearing walk-off. That's what I think it was.
No, I think they were down by 2, but it was in the 8th.
Oh, so it's almost, it doesn't matter. He won the game for him. That's plain and simple. And it seems like he's been doing that for him.
Yeah, and robbing Albert Pujols of game-saving home runs, just being the guy that he was in 2019, and being the guy that I pretty much fell in love with. He didn't have a spot on this roster, and I get it, and I get they wanted to give Clint Frazier, the younger guy, the run, but at the end of the day, Frazier's just not cutting it. There's something about him that just doesn't have that MLB makeup, and it kills you.
Yeah. It all leads back to that one game we went together. He's getting errors left and right. He's got the Mickey Mouse Gold Glove last year.
Yeah. I'll admit that. He got the Mickey Mouse Gold Glove. And that Rays series where he made that great diving catch, everybody's posting about it. That had a 95% catch probability.
Yeah. He probably didn't need to
started late. He's like I heard it on the Short Porch podcast. Dude's like that kid in the backyard where he's like, Dad, hit it over there so that way I could go try to make this diving catch.
Yeah.
He's catching balls over his head like this when you're diving. Just stand up.
Nuts, man. I got 2 more questions for you based on the Yankees. How are you feeling about Odor? You're praising him when he first came over. He was a little bit of a spark plug, but he's slowing down a bit. Do you think he's going to hold on to that second base spot?
I think he will, just because it's kind of like he has that clutch gene that when he comes up, I'm like, okay, Odor could get the big hit. Odor could really get this big hit and kind of be that energy, and he's not a guy that shies away from the big moment. Is he going to hit for average? Is he going to always get on base? No, but he's a good clubhouse guy. I really do think he kind of fits into the mold, and he gets along with Gio. He gets along with Glaber, and he kind of calms them down a little bit. I like him on this team. It kills me when he's hitting under the Mendoza line, almost near 200, but I think he's really just a good spark plug for this team at times.
All right, I got one more comment leading into my last Yankee for this little Yankee segment.
Yeah,
Gary Sanchez has been hot this past couple weeks, and that leads to him not starting tonight to put in another struggling Higashioka. It's not. I don't get it. And leading to my question, do you think there's gonna be changes made with Brian Cashman or Aaron Boone before the end of the year?
No. I would love it. I would love to see Aaron Boone out of this ball club because I feel like he makes us weak and he makes us really look awful. The fact that going back to that Red Sox series where you get the call third strike on a ball that was 5 feet out of the zone and you have Phil Nevin, who's coming back off of a sickness, has an IV hooked up to him, going out there ready to pop a blood vessel, and you're just sitting there on the bench, and then you let your bench coach get thrown out, and you're still not going out of this game. It's like, dude, you got to be the first one at it. Yeah. I would love to see Aaron Boone off this team, but I think Brian Cashman and the Yankees kind of have too much morals, too much pride to be like, I'm not giving up on this. This is gonna work. So I think if they're gonna make changes,
like Cashman's been with them. He started in the mailroom. He's worked his way up. He's put together the World Series team in 2009. But I think he might be hurting them, like his decision to keep Frazier in there.
Yeah.
Him having Boone in there so he can control the entire lineup.
Yeah.
It might hurt him in the long run. And I forgot. I think I was listening to it might have been ESPN. Said Hank Steinbrenner was in the crowd and he was just looking around watching the entire crowd boo the team. And that's just something the Steinbrenner's not going to like.
Yeah. No, I mean, Hal I don't think is going to stand for that, but I think Hal is a proponent of all that too.
Hank's the one who works on the farm, right?
Yeah, right. I think, Hal is kind of a proponent of that too. He picked Boone also, and he picked Cashman. So it's kind of that pride of, we're the Yankees, we're going to get it figured out. Like Boone said, we're going to turn the corner. I'm still waiting for them to turn it. Hopefully this Minnesota series gets them going. It gets them being like, hey, we're the Yankees. We could still hit, we could still hit the home runs. So let's do it. So let's hope we could turn it around. But I do have a question for you since we're on managers. How are you feeling about Luis Rojas? I feel like he's done a really great job managing this ragtag bunch, and I feel like if he can keep doing this, it looks really good for him.
Yeah, in the beginning of the year, I was upset, but I was looking back at a bunch of my videos. I was looking back from an opening day video where I was yelling for him to get fired. I was yelling about how this is the worst team in baseball, but they turn it around, and I think it shows that he's able to hold the clubhouse together because they are having fun, they're winning games, and they're an entire unit, and he's holding this team together. It seemed one thing about the Mets in the past couple seasons, I'd be upset with the decisions he made coming out of the bullpen, but that's because the bullpen wasn't good, and any decision he made, it wasn't going to work. Yeah. I'm not happy all the time pulling starters out early. That's the only complaint I have with Luis Rojas. Pulling starters out of the 6 inning, 7 innings when you got 84 pitches under your belt. But
especially when it's DeGrom.
Especially when it's DeGrom. Because when you pull that man, you're going to lose the game. Mm-hmm. But you got to understand that this pitching team, the top 3 starters are his strength. Stroman, ground ball guy. Walker, he's just looking like a complete pitcher, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird seeing someone not equally as dominant, but very, very good. He's got the 5th best ERA in the league. Yeah. Struck out 9 today. Pitched
good.
The 5-run lead, and he right after that 5-run lead, he retired 10 in a row. Yeah. And Jacob deGrom pitching out of his mind. He's getting compared with the top 3 seasons of all time. I know it's still early. He'll finish with a sub-2. It's not going to be anything crazy, but calling a sub-2 nothing crazy. That's how insane this man is pitching right now.
That is crazy.
But Luis Rojas making the right calls, bringing in guys from the bullpen, but I'd be a lot happier with letting the starters go a little more because I think we're going to tax the bullpen a little too much too early into the season.
Yeah, I mean that was always the Boone mistake too. You rely on your bullpen too much, and then when you try to get to the postseason, they almost become worn out. They become, we've seen this before. You want your bullpen to almost be like a mystery of arms. You're throwing out a bunch of guys that you've never really seen before too much, and if you have, you've only seen them a handful of times. So I definitely agree with that. And another question is, how do you feel about your owner really just being out there on Twitter, just being vocal? I mean, it gets under my skin because I'm like, dude, you got nothing. Like you're on a winning streak, yeah, but if this goes south, these are gonna come to the forefront.
Nah, man, I fuck with it. The only mistake he made was just like before the season started, like with the whole Bitcoin, Dogecoin thing, like Robinhood, and he was saying, dude, I'm just out here trying to make money like you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a fucking multi-billionaire, so it doesn't compare at all.
Yeah.
But I think after that, he learned the game. He just makes little comments here, there, like that was fun, or that could have got ugly. Like, I'm glad we won this one. He's getting better with it, but I fuck with it because he does reply to fans. Apparently, he does respond to emails. Him and his family do respond to emails from fans. So, and I don't want to say he's one of us because he's a billionaire, but he is a self-made billionaire. He's a cutthroat guy, and he ruined a lot of lives to get there. But he's one of us. Yeah. He was in Shea Stadium in the 60s and 70s, watching from the bleachers with his boys.
Mm-hmm.
And he loves this team. And you know what billionaires love doing? Getting what they want. He's the richest dude alive. His wife is a bigger Mets fan than he is. And he wants to buy her a World Series, and I'm here for it.
Hey, I mean, that's better than an actual wedding ring,
Yeah, I'm freaking here for it, man. Imagine getting married to a billionaire and then he buys you the Mets.
He buys you the Mets. That nothing could be better than that. But he's a true blue Met fan.
Yes.
And you can't take that away from him. And I think that it could either go either way, where that really helps you or that really hurts you. Either you have too much invested into it and you want to do too much without even knowing anything, or you are so invested that you're like, hey, I'm gonna let these people do what I'm paying them to do. And you let your money kind of talk for you.
I think that's what the money is out there. The money is absolutely out there, but it's not like the Wilpons. The Wilpons were choosing who they wanted to sign. Are we still on? You on?
Yep. I'm still here. Yep.
Okay. All right. I'll edit that out. The Wilpons were picking who was in charge. The one thing is he's hands off because he still has to run his billion-dollar business day to day. He still runs that. And he says Sandy's in charge of baseball.
Yeah.
I put up the money. Sandy's in charge of baseball. So the money's going to be there, and there's a baseball guy to make the decisions. So I think it's going to be all right in the long run.
And it's good, yeah. And how are you feeling about Lindor with this turnaround? He's kind of looked a lot better as of recent. That's it's just me following as a casual fan. I'm not following every day. I've heard he's turned it around.
Yeah.
But
got on base 3 times today.
He could be worse, It could be a lot worse. But you know what? I think this was the Francisco Lindor, kind of what not everybody expected, but what he is,
Yeah.
He's that grind player. He's that fun-loving guy. He's going to make defensive plays. He's going to be a good person. Is he really worth all the money? Maybe, maybe not. But, hey, he's a good piece right now for you guys. And
it seems like it's working. He's turned it around. I don't hate looking at his face every morning anymore.
Exactly.
He's getting on base, and that leads to him getting on base. And that works right now because the polar bear is heating up. The man is heating up right now. And I think Lindor has scored on almost every Pete Alonso RBI this month. It was Lindor coming in to score. Pete Alonso in the last month batting .367, 8 RBIs, 3 homers in the last 8 games in the month of June.
He's heating up.
He's getting hot.
Off the IL, coming back.
Having Lindor at the top of the lineup, if I don't need him to bring runs in if he's on base.
Mm-hmm.
Keep getting on base. He walked once, got hit once, and ripped a single today. And I think he scored twice on being on base. Yeah. So as long as he's on base, not striking out, he's not striking out as much. He's looking more comfortable at the plate, and that's all you can ask for. You don't look like a fucking doofus at the plate.
Exactly.
And his glove is money.
And you know what? He's had one of the best abilities, which is availability. You know,
yes,
through all the injuries you guys have had, he's been a mainstay in that lineup.
Yeah. And at the end of the year, I'm still going to remember how slow he started. But if he played 152 games, he'd be like, the man showed up every day.
Yeah.
Man showed up with his briefcase and his hard hat, took his licks, but he turned it around. I don't know if we're going to go deep this year, but we're definitely going to make the playoffs. Yeah. Even if the Braves catch up and show who they actually are, we're going to at least be a wild card team this year.
Yeah, and that's literally all you could ask for with all the expectations coming into the year, you know. And like, shit, I'll be lucky if the Yankees can make a wild card spot at this point. But you know
that's
what?
That's the scary thing about that division.
I think a lot of the people we have coming back from injury, you know, if we can get Voit back, that's so big for this offense to get going. I feel like when he's in this lineup, he is clicking. You know, Stanton coming back, he had 2 home runs today, 3-4 hits. I think he had 2 hits yesterday. When Stanton's going, he's going. And with Judge staying consistent, I think they could really turn this team around. And another big piece coming back is Zach Britton. He's right there on the cusp. You know, this guy, he's a closer in 29 other teams. So,
yeah, and you have the best closer in baseball right now. Can't gloss over that.
Yeah.
But you just got to have the lead at the end of the game for him to come in.
Exactly. And we can't be freaking tied.
Who's someone that's surprising you this month, and who are you happy with so far with the Yankees in the past couple of weeks?
Someone that's kind of surprising me, I would really say, sheesh, it's hard because really it's just been abysmal. Like, you're watching a lot of bad baseball. Somebody that's definitely made me happy is, you know, definitely Andujar. I'm loving seeing it, but actually surprising me because I really gave up on him. My hopes are still high on him. Gary Sanchez, you know.
He had a hot week, and then the team put him on the bench today.
Yeah, and that's why I was even toying with today. I was like, hey, you got to keep him in the lineup. And the only way you're going to keep him in the lineup is if you put Stanton out in the outfield. I would have been perfectly happy with an outfield of Andujar, Judge, and then Stanton. And then
who's playing center? Andujar?
No,
Are you throwing Judge in center?
Yeah. If that man could play center field 10 games out of the year, I'll take it. Yeah. You know what? It switches around the lineup. It allows other guys to get into the lineup, and that guy's going to produce no matter what positions he's in.
Yeah, he's got the arm to make up for a ball falling in front of him. As long as he can keep the ball in front of him, you can play.
Exactly.
Let's see. All right. I just want to bring up one thing about who I've been happy with. Been happy with the Polar Bear. Been happy with Kevin Pillar. He's producing after, and that's one thing. It just shows fucking toughness. It shows he wants to be out there with the team every day. He's wearing the Dark Knight mask in the outfield, looking nuts. Hit 2 home runs tonight. But one guy they traded for when everyone was hurt, Billy McKinney.
Ex-Yankee.
Ex-Yankee, ex-everyone. But he's a modern baseball player. He's going to either ground out, strike out, or hit a home run. And he's been hitting home runs for the Mets.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he's going to end up being the number 4 outfielder when everyone is back and healthy. But my big thing is, if he keeps producing like this, young player, I think he could be a trade chip at the end of the season to bring in a quality 4 pitcher for the New York Mets.
Now, is that what you guys need, or would you guys need more bullpen depth?
Starter, because Peterson has been so bad, and Lucchesi, he's hit or miss every night. But when he is well, he's only in there for 4 innings.
Yeah, you're not getting much production out of him.
No, so that's my big hope. Billy McKinney could be fantastic, but I don't know if because he's not that great in the field. He could he'd be traded to an AL team and just hit 10 home runs in the last month of baseball for someone, just concentrating on batting, and we receive a 4 pitcher. I'd be thrilled with that.
Now I got a fun question for you. Since we're on this whole trade talk, start getting into July, you start thinking about trading guys, who's in, who's out. Right now, who would you think of picking up for the Mets through a trade piece?
Picking up for the Mets?
Yeah, like trading for. Who would you be like, what? I feel like this guy right now is, if we trade for him, he's going to make a difference on this team.
All the guys I want, all the starting pitchers I want are guys who are like untouchables. I can't think of like a name, like a 4 or 5 guy who would help my team.
Okay.
You got any suggestions? Because right now, I'm literally only watching the Mets. I've been so busy. I haven't been watching any updates on anything. I've just been watching the Mets.
I mean, I'm trying to think of other guys, trying to think of who's kind of falling out. Maybe you look somewhere like Pittsburgh. You get one of their top guys. Anderson kind of hasn't been a bad person for them. He comes over, he starts getting into a pennant race, maybe starts pitching a little bit better.
I'll take anyone, and it is weird saying it as a Mets fan, anyone who could give me 5-6 innings, 3 runs, bring them on. Because right now, I think the Mets can outscore people. And that's not something I could always say. It's something I could say. What about you?
For me, I have my 2 guys, and one of them I know we're probably not getting because it's in division. I would love this guy on our team, and he is Cedric Mullins. Dude's been raking.
That man's a problem.
He's got speed. He's got contact. He could play a great center field. Everything we need. Everything that the Yankees don't have. And he's got some pop to him, He's got some pop in that bat, and I've enjoyed watching him play. I think he is a really great talent. I just don't think we're getting him. I think he's still got a bunch of years left. I think the Orioles kind of not want to build around him, but want him to be a piece in that team going forward.
I think they could build around them. I think I sent you a message of him robbing the Mets of a run.
Yeah,
he scored the 1 run for them today, and he took away a couple runs from them today.
Yeah, and then
he's the truth.
He had that game where he went 5 for 5 with 2 home runs, and I was like, "Gee, this guy is unstoppable."
Yeah, we kicked the shit out of the Orioles, but they're hot right now. They're hot right. Like they've won like 6 out of 8, but
after
they're still in last place
in a row.
Yeah, having an awful May, but they're hot right now.
Yeah,
and they might be gunning for 4th place. You might be careful. You need to be careful.
They're trying. They could try.
Yeah, but that's the thing about them. You can't roll over on them.
No, you can't. Especially in the AL East. You can never roll over on anybody. But my main guy that I do want, and I think it's still possible, but this team has to really turn it around for, I think, how to make this move, is Ketel Marte.
That's another nice player.
The
Diamondbacks are awful this year too, right?
What was it?
Diamondbacks are awful too, right?
Diamondbacks are god-awful. They're in that West where you got the Padres, the Dodgers, and the Giants. They're not fighting for anything. Yeah. They're having a really crappy season. They've been sellers since they got rid of Greinke. And I, left-hand or switch-hitted batter, something that Hicks was, even though I hated Hicks and I still hate Hicks, he was a dynamic in that lineup where it's like he turned the pitchers around a little bit, Instead of the Rays always coming out and having guys that are righties blowing 98 to 100 by you, now you got to deal with a switch hitter. Now you got to deal with a guy with some pop in his bat that can turn around to the other side of the plate. And he's a good defender. He could play the outfield. He could play center field. He used to be an infielder, but he's kind of reverted out there to center field. He's been playing it well, and I think if Hal wants to do anything for this team this year, he's got to be a guy to, he's going to be a guy that I think could do it for us.
Man, Stanton just got another. They scored it in an error.
Yeah.
Sorry. But I'll start looking into that for the next time we meet. I'll start watching the rest of the league. Yeah. Get myself out of the NL East and the Mets. I've only been concentrating on them.
Get your mind flowing, man. Just start fantasizing a little bit.
I can't. I'm scared.
It's like how I was sitting there watching the Blazers game the other day, and I was like, man, Dame would be so great on the Knicks.
Fantastic. So fantastic.
I know it's never going to happen, but
it might. After this year, it might. If you brought that up last year, we would have both laughed like,
No
never.
shot.
But
Yeah. I would have been
after
like,
this year, like, they're 2 pieces away. The Knicks, 2 pieces away. Randall had a fantastic year, but he's not a number 1 option.
no, he's not. He could definitely be a 2. I think the spotlight just got too big on him, and to be your first playoff and have to go through all that, it's rough. It's not gonna, it's not easy.
He put the whole city on his back. It was a little heavy.
Yeah, and D Rose can only do so much, but we're a baseball podcast. We'll keep it to baseball for now. If we ever want to do a Knicks podcast in the future, we'll look into it.
All right. Who's your go to the week?
My go to the week is Miggy Smalls, the Migster. Miggy, can't you see? Guy has absolutely raked. Don't forget to roll your R's when you say Andujar.
Andujar.
Exactly. That man, if he can be what he was in 2018, that man's going to be unstoppable. Better than Shohei Ohtani. Should have been the rookie of the year that year. I still feel like he got cheated.
Yeah,
and
he did.
That bat,
100%.
his bat plays, man. His bat absolutely plays.
I'm gonna give it to. I'm just going to go back to Pete Alonso. He's been so good so far. Had rough coming off of injury, and he's just absolutely raking. I think the team is good. We have good pieces, good pitching, good bullpen, but I think he is good enough to carry a baseball team by himself. So if everyone else is producing and he does what he did in his rookie season, we're gonna fuck people up.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe that the polar bear is gonna growl. And if he could just stay hot from here, it's impossible to stay hot for the next 4 months of baseball. But if we could get on a nice little run to the All-Star break, he stays away from the home run derby.
Oh, please, God.
We're going to be all right. And Pete Alonso's my go to the week. I gave his stats earlier. He's going to be all right.
Yeah, I still think he's corny as hell, but that dude could play baseball.
That man could hit baseball, playing a fantastic first base. Might lose his job to James McCann. Not really, but when we play AL teams, he'll DH.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. Who's your trash of the week?
My trash of the week is Clint Frazier. He's had a good week, but everything about his game just turns me off. It just makes me not want to watch. And every time his at-bats come up, I'm like, all right, let me go do something else. If he gets a base hit, that's good for him. Add to the ERA or add to his average, but outside of everything else, his stats are subpar.
Yeah. Sorry, Clint, you're trash, buddy.
Yeah, sorry, man. But who's your trash of the week this week? Peter.
A common trend this year is pitchers making me look stupid. Because outside of DeGrom, I have not hit on a single pitching prediction. At the beginning of the year, I claimed this man will probably finish the season with number 2 stuff and possibly even being the number 2 of his staff. David Peterson.
I knew it.
Last year in 10 games, he went 6-2 with a 3 ERA. Pitching great right behind Jacob deGrom, giving us the chance to winning 2 games in a row every week. This year, so far through 11 games, 1-5, 6.32 ERA, 47 innings and 11 starts. Just not being able to get out of games, not being able to keep people inside the park, not being able to get out of fucking innings. He's been so bad. I saw a joke. He changed his number from 77 to number 23. So he's Bizarro Steven Matz because he was 32. Okay. He took over Steven Matz as being the trash of the fucking lineup.
Yeah.
And he's just been so bad. I don't know. And this is why, I don't know who they're going to call up. Are they going to give Gazelman some starts? Whoever they had in AAA, they said it was about to bring. I forgot his name, but they said he just got rocked last night, so he's not an option anymore.
Yeah, you kind of want him to work.
Yeah, I think they got to maybe give him one more start to maybe get it right, but he's had maybe 2 quality starts the entire season. Then David Peterson, you're fucking trash, dog. You're making me look stupid.
Sorry,
as
Peterson.
every pitcher is this year, except DeGrom.
You let Baltimore win, man. What are you doing? Come on.
Get rocked.
Got rocked. What did they put? 14-0 on you guys last night?
Nah, let's not talk about it. I think it was like 12.
Something like that. Jeez.
Jesus. Whatever. I don't know.
You're trash, David Peterson.
You're fucking trash, you asshole.
I don't think you're going to turn it around. Sorry.
No, I don't either. That's why I'm hoping Billy McKinney goes off. We trade him, bring someone in. You got any final words to all 12 of our fans?
Thank you guys every week for watching. We really appreciate you guys sticking through us, even through the weeks that we're not recording. We're going to try to do our best to keep coming and keep interacting with us on social media. We're always out there. We're always willing to talk baseball.
Yeah, I'm gonna be going back to going hard on the Instagram posts. Yeah. I enjoy doing that. I'm gonna start doing them shirtless. No big deal. Summertime.
Love to see it. Hey,
summertime, baby.
It's hot. You might see my chest hair glisten every once in a while.
Who knows?
Gotta let it go.
I think I need a chain.
Yeah,
I think I need a chain.
Yeah, you gotta just let it rock. Nothing crazy,
Nah, something light, just to flick out, like
right?
when I walk off.
Oh, and also this year in baseball, right now I'm hitting 833. Just wanted to
no big deal.
No big deal.
That's Justin Macias, 2-sport athlete.
9 plate appearances, 5 hits, 3 walks.
No big deal. This man is on base. Then that's what you need. That's what the team needs. He's on base. He's got the mullet.
I'm there.
He's here.
Mullet might go soon, but we'll see. We'll see how it's going. I don't know. We're making adjustments on the fly every day.
That's what we do. That's part of life. That's another episode of Crosstown Conflict. We'll see you next week, maybe this weekend. And I'm gonna start being a bum and start flaking on people because I'm losing money out here. We'll see you guys next time.
All right, guys. Later.